What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update, fourth stimulus check update, and daily news. We finally have a payment date for the VA for the third stimulus check uh, deposits. Most people from Social Security have now received their direct deposit either today or over the weekend or as early as Friday. Let me know if you got your $1,400 stimulus checks. We're going to go over the latest on that, as well as the upcoming stimulus package, the infrastructure/stimulus package, the Build Back Better package. We got a lot to cover. We're going to jump right in. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates on the upcoming round of stimulus, as well as daily news. Don't forget to hit the like button for us, and here we go. First up, President Biden wants to increase the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28% in the infrastructure/stimulus package. Surprisingly, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, the world's richest man, sometimes it's Elon Musk, sometimes it's Jeff Bezos, actually supports President Biden's infrastructure push and also backs the corporate tax rate hike. Amazon, the country's second largest employer, also faces backlash for its attempt to crush unionizing efforts at its warehouses and whole food grocery stores. Democratic Representative Jayapal says if corporations are supportive of increasing the corporate tax rate, then they should actually pay it. This is in response to Jeff Bezos saying that he is willing to, or he's actually in support. It doesn't matter if he's willing, to be honest, because Congress can pass it with or without him. But what's interesting here is this top tweet. A lot of times the top response to the tweets are absolutely just either hysterical or very true. As you can see, this top response here is from Joshua Weil for U.S. Senate for Florida. He says, Jeff Bezos, odds are he's only supporting this because he knows that tax loopholes will still exist to allow him to pay nothing. And that is because of reports like these, 91 top Fortune 500 companies paid no federal taxes at all in 2018. 55 major corporations paid $0 in federal taxes on their 2020 profits, and more than 50 major corporations, including Nike, FedEx, Zoom, and Amazon, paid no federal taxes within the last few years, depending on the year. And this is because of tax loopholes. Even if they raise the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%, if you're paying $0 in federal tax, it doesn't really matter if you're paying $0. They can charge you 28% of zero, and it's still zero. And this is because of tax loopholes and write-offs and refunds and tax rebates that large corporations actually get that small, average, everyday mom and pop shops or entrepreneurs don't get access to. In fact, in a recent report, they showed that out of the top 500 companies that paid $0 in tax, they actually got $3.5 billion in rebates from the federal government. So not only did they pay $0 in tax, but they actually got $3.5 billion back from the federal government. So they're actually making money from the federal government. Must be nice, huh? Instead of paying any taxes, they're making billions of dollars in tax rebates. So yeah, something needs to be changed in the future as these corporations make billions and billions and billions of dollars, yet pay zero to little in taxes. A new update from the IRS and the Treasury Department today says the IRS and the Treasury have dispersed 25 million more economic impact payments, aka stimulus checks, under the American Rescue Plan over this past weekend and today. Social Security and other beneficiaries bring the total to more than 156 million people have now gotten their third stimulus check, or it is in the mail or pending. We have a date now for the VA. VA beneficiary payments are to be dispersed on April 14th. This is actually the most soonest or the quickest or kind of, I know it's a shame that the VA has been last. We'll talk about that here in a second, but this was actually the best date you could have gotten, which is the next payday, which is next Wednesday, because the IRS sends these deposits out on Wednesdays. And the reason for this delay on both Social Security and the VA is because they had to send the information over to the IRS. And it took Social Security 12 days to do that, and it took the VA longer to do that. We don't know the exact days. But it's not that the government has it out for you. It's actually the Social Security and the VA had to send this data over. So it looks like the VA will be getting it on the 14th. However, these same rules will apply in what happened to Social Security. So what they will likely do is actually send those direct deposits out this Friday. And some of you guys will get your money on that Friday. The official payment date will be the 14th, but they'll likely send it out this Friday. This is exactly what happened with Social Security this last Friday. They sent it out on Friday, and some people got it right away based on your bank. Some of the banks that had it immediately right away were Chime Bank, NetSpend, MetaBank, Cash App, Green Dot, H&R Block, and TurboTax. So if you're with the VA, you could have it as early as this Friday. But if not one of those, then you might just get it pending until Wednesday. We also had people over this weekend have the money become available over the weekend and on Monday and Tuesday. So it looks like probably Friday will be the last day for deposits for VA, for direct deposits. If your paper check in the mail, you could have it in the mail now. It could be sending to you. Paper checks do not apply to these rules. So it also looks like it's taking at least 7 to 10 days to send out paper checks, or I'm sorry, to receive them past your IRS Get My Payment Tool date. So just keep that in mind. If you have a date for April 1st, for example, don't expect it before April 7th or 8th. And really, it could be April 10th or later. You'll see down below in the comments a lot of people saying when they got it, how long their paper check took. Let our viewers know, let our extended family know, our community, let them know how long it took for your paper check to arrive based on your IRS Get My Payment Tool dates and when you actually received it. Now, as you probably know by now, there is almost 100 different Democratic lawmakers between the House and the Senate that are pushing for a fourth stimulus check to be included in the next stimulus package, and actually in the form of monthly payments, not just a single stimulus check, but actually monthly recurring stimulus checks in the next package. The next package is, well, first of all, they haven't unveiled the second part, what they call the human infrastructure part of this package, which will likely, when all is said and done, finally have at least a single stimulus check, I think, if not the monthly reoccurring stimulus checks. But it also could have several other stimulus items in there, such as possibly another unemployment extension. We also could see another $10,200 of unemployment tax-free money for 2021. We could also see the child income tax credits. This is where you get $3,000 to $3,600 per child if you have children, which honestly, this is one of the largest buckets of money. This was passed from the third stimulus check package. It's for 2021 tax credits. So you would normally get it next year when you file your taxes. You can normally get this tax credit next year when you file your taxes. The tax credit for 2020 was $2,000 per child. This was raised by former President Donald Trump. So if you didn't claim that for last year, you need to look into that, and you can possibly file an amended tax return to claim the $2,000 child income tax credit. Biden and the Democrats have raised it to $3,000 to $3,600, $3,600 for children under the age of 6, $3,000 for children over the age of 6. That's for tax year 2021. So you'll get it next year's tax return. However, the IRS is trying to set up a portal to give that to you in monthly payments or periodic payments. There's several different things being thrown around. They're throwing around $250 to $300 per month per child, and then getting half the year, because basically July is when they want to start this. That's halfway through the year. You might get the other half, the first half of the year, either on the front half as a one lump sum or on the back half as part of your tax return. They also want to expand this for more than just the tax year of 2021. They want to increase this for several different years in the future. And they could do this in the next stimulus package. They're throwing around so many different things: student loan forgiveness, Social Security increases, Medicare expansion and increases, lowering the Medicare age, and also including dental coverage for hearing aids and coverage for all sorts of different things. Senator Bernie Sanders is leading the charge on that, and also to lower prescription drug prices. I'll keep you up to date on that because that could throw in extra coverage for hearing and dental and other things like that, as well as lowering prescription drug prices. Here's President Biden on the infrastructure package. Remember, all this is up for negotiation, and by the time all is said and done, there will be multiple different stimulus provisions, but everything is up for negotiation until they sign on the dotted line and pass this. And this is what happened with the second stimulus check. They literally added in that second stimulus check just a few days before they passed it. They added in, it was the last thing they added in, and then they passed the bill. President Biden is still trying to get Republican support and basically is saying that there will be negotiation on the entire package throughout this process.
In the next few weeks, the Vice President and I will be meeting with Republicans and Democrats to hear from everyone. And we'll be listening. We'll be open to good ideas and good faith negotiations. But here's what we won't be open to. We will not be open to doing nothing. Inaction simply is not an option.
So kind of the stage they're at right now in the negotiations as just the first part of this infrastructure package is the negotiations over raising the tax. So unlike the past 6 stimulus packages, and if you haven't been following closely, you already know this, but there's actually been 6 different stimulus packages passed, 5 underneath former President Donald Trump, 2 of which had stimulus checks. The other ones were minor, and they had money for businesses, money for vaccines, and money for schools and different things like that. One has been passed underneath President Biden, which did have the third stimulus check. The first package underneath Trump was the most expensive. And generally, these 6 stimulus packages are not going to be paid for by you guys. They're not going to raise taxes. They didn't raise taxes to pay for any of this. And that's basically just going to go on to the national debt and will likely never be paid for. Just like the $30 trillion that's already there will likely never be paid for. The government runs a deficit every year. So every year that gets added to, almost every year. But it's very rare that they don't have a deficit. And that deficit will likely never get paid off. So don't even worry about it if you're one of the guys that worries about the national deficit too much. And countries all across the world have national deficits. We're not the only one. But this infrastructure package is a little different because there is going to be multiple different stimulus provisions in there. But the infrastructure package of the package itself, they want to raise taxes to pay for part of this infrastructure. A lot of this infrastructure gets phased in over 10 years. It's not like they go and if this package is $4 trillion when all is said and done, they're not going to, it doesn't get spent all immediately. We've seen Representative AOC say that a lot of this is over 10 years or even 15 years. And she thinks it's not enough because when you split that up into 10 years, it's really only $200 to $400 billion per year, which in the scheme of the entire country is actually small if you look at it per year. For example, the third stimulus check package was $1.9 trillion. We'll just say $2 trillion. That's half of the infrastructure package. But really the infrastructure package is going to be for money used over 10 to 15 years. So really, if you look at that, then it's really not that much money if you look at it in that point of view. And you also can look at it as that Biden wants to raise taxes to pay for at least some of the infrastructure going forward. And that's where we're seeing these possible corporate tax raises from 21 to 28%. Of course, everything's up for negotiation. We see Senator Joe Manchin already being a thorn in the side of the Democrats saying, well, he doesn't like 28%, but he's willing to do 25%. And it's just like he just comes up with these numbers out of like, oh, I don't like 28, but I'm okay with 25. And it's just like, it's kind of getting a little weird with him. It almost seems like he likes being the center of attention. He likes being in the spotlight. And they'll likely have to negotiate with him, which is kind of sad that one person, they're going to negotiate with one person. Like it feels like the country should be in charge of this. And I know they kind of are because we elect these representatives and we just went through an election. So everybody from the House and 1/3 of the Senate just got reelected. So if they're there, they just got reelected literally a few months ago. So we do elect them, but it's kind of weird that like one person can stand up and say, no, I want this to be this way, or I want something else to be that way. And it's just like, well, you're just one person. How do you get to control, what happens? And if not, you're gonna vote against it. It's kind of weird. And it's not like he's the president. I understand if you're President Trump or President Biden or President Obama, then that one person should have a lot of sway because you're the president, and rightfully so. But when you're just like one member of Congress, it's kind of weird that you're just always stepping in and say, oh, no, no, I want things to be this way. And if they're not this way, then I'm not going to vote for it. So that is what we're running into with Senator Joe Manchin, whether he's a Democrat or Republican, whether you like him or not. That is what is going on right now. So, but at the end of the day, I think the Democrats will likely just end up passing this without Republican support. I think they're going to try to negotiate with Republicans, but I'm normally right on this kind of stuff because I can read between the lines. What I think will probably happen is they're going to go and see to try to negotiate with Republicans. The Republican proposals will probably be just way, way off what the Democrats want to do, and they'll probably end up passing this package through reconciliation. They'll probably have to negotiate with Joe Manchin. The Democrats themselves will have to negotiate within themselves with Joe Manchin, and probably only Joe Manchin, on several different items. But when all is said and done, they will end up passing this package, likely through reconciliation. And like I said, there likely will be multiple different stimulus provisions in there. A lot of people think that Joe Manchin is against stimulus, but actually in the last package, he actually got a lot of you guys more money. So he negotiated down, and I say this with an asterisk because we don't 100% know that it was him, but really he was pretty much the only guy they were negotiating with on that last day when they finally passed it in the Senate with the 50 Democratic votes. Remember, there was a big standstill because of him, and they had to go in another room with him and negotiate. Well, he negotiated likely down, most likely because of him, that the income requirements for the stimulus checks went from 100,000 per person down to 80,000 per person. So he did like quote save some money there by not having to pay people that. But he likely did or gets credit for the $10,200, or at least being okay with that $10,200 of unemployment tax break money. So in a way, he didn't give stimulus checks to some people that make more money, but he did give more money in the form of a tax credit for unemployed people for 2020 with that $10,200. So it's not like he's against stimulus. He's just kind of like, he doesn't want to give stimulus to people that have high incomes. Whether that's true or not, because, that's on incomes based on past years, and that might not necessarily reflect those people today or during the pandemic, but alas, it is what it is. When all is said and done, they will pass this bill one way or another. It will likely be through reconciliation, and they'll likely have to just negotiate within themselves. But there will be multiple different stimulus provisions in there before it's all said and done. What that will be, well, we'll be figuring out here on this channel. It could be student loan forgiveness, could be Social Security increases, it could be the free community college and free preschool. I think that's going to probably end up thrown in there. We could see stimulus checks or monthly recurring stimulus checks. There's a lot of different things, and the Medicare expansion that could be included in there as well. So really, there's a lot of things that could be in this next stimulus package. I'll keep you up to date on everything as well as anything else stimulus related. So make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new updates. After subscribing, click the bell icon to all notifications to get reminder notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. I try to cover different things in different videos. So sometimes I cover student loan forgiveness, but sometimes I'll cover Social Security or Medicare and vice versa. So you can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA, where I teach people how to replace their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon. Thanks for watching, guys. Click on one of those videos next. I will see you in the next video, which is at 11 p.m. Eastern Time tonight.